Let me be very clear on what I'm about to say about Angel Reese. Some of the things that I'm going to say about Angel Reese is not going to be pleasing to some of my subscribers. But at the end of the day, I don't care. You know why I don't care? It's because I have an obligation to my craft, to my content, creative thinking process to put out on what I believe and what's my personal thoughts in regards to different topics of conversations that I choose to talk about on my platform. You don't have to like it, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. I welcome your perspective. I welcome your response as long as it's in a respectful way. And if it's not, your post will be deleted. Now, let's kind of go into this conversation with Angel Reese. There has been a lot of things of controversy that has been centered around Angel Reese. But I must be very honest with you. A lot of these things, a lot of these controversies Angel Reese has found herself in has been self-inflicted wounds. Self-inflicted. Now, some of it is race baiting. But there's a lot of it is as I've been begin to watch Angel Reese as she's been playing throughout her career, and I've watched a lot of her games. She is an asset to the NCAA basketball. She does bring value. But on the other hand, she has a lot of things that she does on the basketball court that I do not like. And I've called her out on it a couple of times as I watch her play. And some of the things I do not like. Now, let's get into the post-game comments on what Angel Reese has said. Now, Angel Reese was quoted by saying that I just tried to stay strong. I've been attacked so many times. D threats. I'm not going to say the whole word together because that goes against YouTube policy. But she's also saying in the same breath that I've been sexualized. I've been threatened. I'm still human. Since I won the national championship, I haven't been happy since then. And she started crying in the post-game press conference in their loss to Iowa. Let me be very clear on what I'm about to say. Angel Reese had a good game, but Angel Reese could not win the game all on her own. And I talked about this in my previous video when I talk about Kim Mulkey and how she failed as a coach for the LSU Women Tigers in making coaching adjustments throughout that game. It was big time misinformed lack of coaching adjustments that was not made that really caused LSU the game because they could have won that game if they would have made adjustments. But with the Angel Reese comments, I have to question the lack of sincerity there. And as I was talking, me and my wife, we was communicating about this, and I was saying to my wife that, I had an issue in her timing. And it's almost like you're taking away from Iowa beating you, and you're putting the onus not on you and your team for not playing better, but you're actually putting a spotlight on you as almost like you're making an excuse and want sympathy at this point of the season. Let me be very clear on what I'm about to say. I didn't like it. I felt like she could have had said that, you know what? They were the better team. Clayton Clark had a great game. She hit some unbelievable shots. And at the end of the day, my hat goes off to Iowa. But when you make an assertive effort to say that you've been hated on, to say that you've had threats that's been questioning your life, to say that you've been talked about so negatively. Angel Reese, let me just give you some words of wisdom. You are the same person that have said and talked trash to players on the basketball court. You're the same person that was talking trash to the UCLA bench, whether it was going towards the head coach of UCLA or the assistant coaches or the trainer on the UCLA bench. But what I do know for a fact is that you looked over there and you were saying some choice words, and it was not nice. And what I would say to you, Angel Reese, is that even though you've had a lot of success in your career, let me just read a comment on what Emmanuel said. And I agree with his statements on what he said. I believe it was spot on. It was already my belief system about Angel Reese. But Emmanuel has said, in sports, you can't act like the big bad wolf, then cry like Courage the Cowardly Dog. Now, these are the comments from Emmanuel on what he said. Now, I'm going to say this coming from out my lips. I feel that I can't give sympathy to Angel Reese because I know if they would have won, it would have been another tail side of her that would not have any sympathy towards Caitlin Clark, towards our. You win, you win. If you lose, you own it and take accountability and you move forward. At this point in your career, you have got a lot of praises. And at this point in your career, the last thing that people want to hear is when you get beat, that you're talking about what you had to go through. At this point, a lot of people have gone through a lot of things, Angel Reese. You don't think Caitlin Clark went through a lot of things when she lost against y'all last year? You don't think that there are people that's even on your team that's going through a lot? Haley Van Leaf? You don't think she's being ridiculed on how she's not a good player? Her size, she can't even hit a jump shot. There are a lot of people that's getting on her. You don't think a lot of people has been going at Flo J? Even though Flo J had a great game against Iowa. You don't think a lot of people that's getting on Kim Mulkey, and even though Kim Mulkey on her high horse sat up there and made a whole press conference about this is not factually correct and how she questioned the timing of this article. I believe Kim Mulkey is nasty. I believe Kim Mulkey has a nasty disposition about herself. And I don't like it. I would rather you take ownership of what you have done and are able to take accountability for it and move forward. Now, Angel Reese, you did say that if people want to make you out the villain, you don't mind being the villain. See, it sounds good when certain things come from our lips, but when you get held accountable of what you said, then all of a sudden now you want to get emotional. All of a sudden now you want to have sympathy. All of a sudden now you want people to feel sorry for you. And I'm sorry, Angel Reese, it doesn't work that way in my book. If you want to sit here and do the antics to a lot of the players that you've played against, waving their hand, talking about bye-bye, putting the L sign up, and all of these things, and I know your counter response have been, see, it's cool when they do it, but it's not cool when I do it because I'm a black girl or I'm a black woman. Nice try, Angel Reese, but I got you. See, one thing you have to understand is that Angel Reese is a master manipulator. She knows how to play to the media. She knows how to speak to a certain demographic of people. So those people can gather sympathy for her. So those people can be on her side and fight her battles. Understand this, Angel Reese. You have created the situation. You created this whole thing between you and Caitlin Clark. See, you have to take some accountability there. And the problem that I have with Angel Reese is that she took no accountability for it. She simply is just riding the waves of this is black versus white. This is black girl versus white girl. This is black woman versus white woman. Angel Reese, you have been blessed beyond measure, making well over $1 million in NIL deals. You have been compensated for your talent on the basketball court. You have been in with Sports Illustrated with the swimsuit editions. You have been in countless magazines, the Slam magazine, where you graced the cover with you and your teammate Flo J doing y'all thing on the basketball court. And I am a fan of yours, Angel Reese. Let me say that. Let me make myself perfectly clear. I am a fan of Angel Reese. I am a fan of what she's been able to accomplish on the basketball court. I just had an issue with what you said in the post-game press conference in your loss against Iowa. I had an issue. This was premeditated. You wanted to take some of the sting out the situation of you losing against Iowa, and you still found a way to make it all about Angel Reese. Angel Reese is the only one that's going through problems. Angel Reese is the only one that's being picked on. She's the only one that's getting threats to her life. She's the only one that's being called out because of her actions on the basketball court. Understand, I've watched you, Angel Reese. When you played against USC, there were several nasty little blows that you made towards Cardosa. You was talking mad junk to Cardosa. You was staring her down, looking like you were ready to fight her. Angel Reese, you know who you remind me of? Do y'all remember Dennis Rodman? One thing I really enjoyed about Dennis Rodman is that Dennis Rodman took accountability of who he was on the basketball court. That's why people love the way Dennis Rodman play. Maybe you can take a page from people like that, because that's what your game seemed to me tailored around. You're very physical, and you like being physical. You like talking junk. You even said in your own words, you like getting into the opposing team's head, and you'll do anything by any means necessary when it's between those lines. You don't have friends. That's what you said. So Angel Reese, guess what? When you have that mentality, you can expect that everything that's going to be good when people talk about you in the media. People don't like people who are willing to stand and take accountability for who they are. I want you to stand in who you are. I have no issue with you saying you want to be the villain. I have no issue with you saying that you're talking trash and you're playing very physical and you're looking at the opposing team and you want to take their heart out and you're willing to go to blows if that needs to be done. Because that's who you are, Angel Reese. But the problem I have is that when you have that type of moxie about you, and then when you lose, there's this other type of Angel Reese that we see. Either you're going to be this way or either you're going to be that way. And when your actions on the basketball court said that you are this way, and in between those lines, you don't care about the opposing team, then you're kind of straddling the fence and you're confusing me, because then when you lose, I see this other soft side or emotional state that you're in. But when you win, it's all good. And you know what another problem I had with Angel Reese is when she made the comment in a post-game press conference when they won before they played our. And you said this, that everybody want to be LSU, right? This is your comments. Everybody want to be LSU. Everybody want to beat LSU. We are like the Beatles. We get people following us wherever we go. When we drive our bus to the hotel and when we get off, people want to take our autograph, and we're even more famous and popular than the boys or than the men. I didn't like that. You know why I didn't like it, Angel Reese? Because to me, it came across that you was arrogant. See, there has to be a level of what you call humbleness. And I know a lot of people don't like that word. Anytime when someone says about being humble, you got people that's probably going to be all in my comments as long as you're respectful, because if it's nasty, I will delete it and I will block you. But at the end of the day, man, there has to be a level of humbleness that comes from you, Angel Reese. There has to be a level of respect there. And to me, you did not respect the men. You didn't respect them. Who says in a post-game press conference that you're more famous than the men basketball college team? Come on, man. I was just sitting there and I was listening to you and I was just watching your mannerism. It's giving me arrogance. It's giving me when somebody has their head blowed up full of air. See, that's the problem with some people, is some people don't know how to handle success. See, this is something that some people is going to take out of context of what I'm saying. But if you really grasp to listen to what I'm saying, I'm telling you, there has to be a level of respect. There has to be a level of accountability that you must take as the player and as one of the star players of the basketball team. One of the things I always liked about Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan in my eyes is the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time. But not one time in all of his countless of interviews he's had with Ahmad Rashad and you know, a lot of other interviewers, is that when they said that you are the GOAT, do you consider yourself the GOAT? And Michael Jordan always would have this type of uneasiness about himself, because he said, I never liked that word. I would never call myself the GOAT, because I feel if I ever called myself the GOAT, the greatest of all time, I feel like it would be disrespecting the players that played before me, the Oscar Robertsons, the Bill Russells, the Wilt Chamberlains, the Jerry Wests. Do you understand that that's a master class of how you should handle yourself? And even though if Michael Jordan even do truly feel that he is the greatest player of all time, he never said it openly, because there's a level of humbleness that he brings. Now, you're talking about someone who's probably the most competitive basketball player, yet alone athlete of all time. You've heard all the stories from his teammates to the opposing teammates who said how this man is driven with a purpose to be the best basketball player on the court, but how he has so much humbleness to say, I'm not the greatest of all time. I try to steer clear from those type of conversation, because I don't want to be disrespectful to any of the other players, current players and past players who played before me. But when I've heard some of the things that you said, Angel Reese, and when I see how you act on the basketball court, you have to understand everybody is not going to agree with that. And you have to understand there is this thing called humble pie. And if you're not able to humble yourself, and it's cool to be competitive, it's very cool to be competitive. I, I applaud you on that. But understand, I've watched you, and some of the things that I've seen you done, I don't like it. I don't like it. That's what I have to say about the Angel Reese story. Even though that she's decided to declare to go to the WNBA, I'm happy for her. Congratulations to you, Angel Reese, and everything that you've been able to accomplish, and you being able to declare yourself for the WNBA. I wish you nothing but the success. Now, the couple of things I want you to work on is your conditioning. Work on your conditioning, because you get tired real quick running up and down that basketball court. And work on your shooting mechanics, your jump shot. You have to develop a consistent jump shot, Angel Reese, because at the end of the day, you're going into the WNBA, and you're going to have players that's going to be taller than you, and you're not going to be able to play bully ball all the time. And you're going to have to understand that you have to expand your game. Expand your game. What I mean by expanding your game, there are some players that are able to have long careers because they understand they don't want to continue to play all the time in the paint, because it's a physical game. So they don't want to continue to get injuries because they're banging. So what they decide to do is work on their game by expanding their game, by creating a consistent jump shot, whether it's 10 feet, 12 feet out, and being able to hit it consistently. So that way you don't have to worry about getting banged up and getting little nicks and injuries here or there. If you can work and develop a jump shot and straighten out that mechanic of your release when you're shooting these jump shots, and you're able to be consistent, whether you can get it to like 35, 36%, all the way up to maybe 45, 50%. If you're able to develop your game and expand your game that way, I'm going to tell you, Angel Reese, you could be unstoppable. I believe in that you can do it. I believe in you as a basketball player, and I believe in you as a person. I believe in you as a black woman. I support you as a black man to a black woman. I support you. So I don't want you to take out of context on what I'm saying, or any other people take out of context of what I'm saying. I'm just keeping it real, and I'm going to always do it on the Royal Figures YouTube channel. Y'all already know my motto, man. Speak your truth, but speak it in such a way where it's not so disrespectful. Some of you still going to deem it disrespectful in what I said, but I don't. Feel free to give me your opinions about Angel Reese in the comment section. This should be very interesting. And remember, always be respectful, because if you're not respectful, you will get your comment deleted and you will get blocked. But at the end of the day, man, always watch your six out there. And you can actually support my YouTube channel by just hitting that subscribe button. And also, I have merch that's out on my website. You can go to www.royalfigures.org, and you can support the Royal Figures YouTube channel that way as well. Until next time, man, y'all stay tuned to my next video. Y'all take care, and always watch yourself.